Good evening, good evening. Welcome to another episode of GL Podcast. Your host, Country Boy, here with a fantasy football edition for week 4. So, just a little recap from week 3. Last week I was bragging that my teams went 3-0, went undefeated. This week, opposite, went 0-3. None of my teams showed up. It wasn't even close. None of my teams scored 100 points. Bateman, Gabe Davis, Gerald Everett, Mike Williams let me down. But it's a new week. We still in this thing. It's early in the season, long season, so we gonna get it right this week. So starting off for Sunday, we have the Vikings at the Saints. For the Vikings, this game will be in London at 9:30, so make sure you set your lineups Saturday night before you hit the sheets. But in London, we have for the Vikings, if Dalvin Cook plays, which looks like he is, he's a start. Also, Kirk Cousins will be a good streamer for you this week. Jefferson has a tough matchup against Lattimore, so he's more of a flex option. If you have better options with better matchups, you might actually sit Jefferson. He's been struggling the past few weeks. And for New Orleans, Jameis may not play, so if Andy Dalton is a starter, I don't trust any of the receivers. And hopefully Calvin Kamara will get some more catches, some more play out the backfield. Then you have the Browns at the Falcons. For the Browns, I believe Chubb's going to have a huge game. I see Amari Cooper having another good game for you. And Njoku can be a streaming option tight end for you. For the Falcons, continue to play Drake London and Kyle Pitts. Those are really the only two on the offense I trust. Then we have the Commanders at the Cowboys. For the Commanders, maybe the receivers, McLaurin, Samuel, and Dotson will have some flex options for you. For Dallas, you got to play Zeke and Pollard in the flex. I still have Pollard over Zeke. I eventually see him taking over that position towards the end of the season. And, of course, you got to start CeeDee Lamb. And Noah Brown has some streaming potential as well. Then we have the Seahawks at the Lions. For the Seahawks, Rashad Penny, it could be a sleeper start for you this week. Also DK and Tyler Lockett. For the Lions, Goff may not have any of his top weapons, including Amon-Ra St. Brown and DJ Chark. But I'll still start him. And I see Jamal Williams have a big day as well. Then we have the Titans at the Colts. For Tennessee, like Derrick Henry is back on track, you can start him. Still not trusting Woods or Burks. And for the Colts, JT, of course, start him. Michael Pittman, of course, start him. They can give you some big numbers this week. For the Bears at the Giants, for the Bears, not starting anybody except Khalil Herbert. He could be another top 5 running back for you this week. He should have a big game because the Bears refuse to pass the ball with Fields. And for the Giants, the only person you can really trust is Saquon. He's back doing this thing. Start him with confidence. Then we have the Jags at the Eagles. Jaguars, the surprise team of the year so far. The defense is legit. So for them, I would start Lawrence. Great streaming option for you. He's starting out to be a good week-to-week starter. This will be a tough matchup for him, though. I'm starting Lawrence and Christian Kirk, however. And for the Eagles, you got to start the whole offense. Hurts has been doing this thing this year. You got to go with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard. Not trusting. I don't like Miles Sanders this week. Then we have the Jets at the Steelers. For the Jets, you're still starting the running backs. Carter and Breece Hall. And also Garrett Wilson has some potential. But this will also be the first game with Zach Wilson. So I might want to hold off on the receivers just to see how he acclimates with them in his first week back. For the Steelers, you got to do Deontay Johnson and Pickens. I will not start Claypool. And, of course, you got to start Najee. Then we have the Bills at the Ravens. This should be the highest scoring game of the week. Both offenses, I would start everyone. So that's Allen, even Singletary. I would start him. You have to start Diggs, Davis. Hopefully he has a bounce back week for you this week. And on the opposite side for the Ravens, of course, you got to start Lamar. He's been doing his thing, MVP type season so far. And you have to do Bateman and Andrews, of course. Then we have the Chargers at the Texans. The Chargers let me down last week. Everett and Mike Williams. So hopefully they get Keenan Allen back this week, bring some balance to their offense. But you got to start Eckler, Herbert, the wide receivers, of course. And even Palmer has some flex potential. For Houston, Damian Pierce. He's the only really one you could trust so far. Brandon Cooks has not picked it up yet, but this should be a breakout game for him, especially if they're going to be down early. Then we have the Cardinals at the Panthers. Both of these teams have been struggling. Hopefully they can find their footing in this game. For the Cardinals, you got to start Kyler. Hopefully he'll do better for you than he has in these past few weeks. Connor, if he plays. And Dortch has been a surprise receiver for them in the absence of Rondale Moore and DeAndre Hopkins because of the suspension. For the Panthers, you got to start CMC. Hopefully Baker will start actually throwing to him out of the backfield. They're treating him like a real running back, which has been hurting his fantasy impact. But that's it. Can't trust Baker. Can't trust DJ Moore because Baker is not a good quarterback. So that's all for the Panthers. You can start CMC. Then we have the Patriots at the Packers. For the Patriots, doesn't look like Mac Jones is going to play, but you can still start the running backs with confidence. I have Stevenson over Harris. And for the Packers, same thing. I'll only start those running backs with confidence. And maybe Romeo Doubs if the receiver core is still kind of hurt, and Lazard has some flex potential as well. We also have the Broncos at the Raiders. Will this be the game that Russ actually comes in cooking and learns the offense? For now, I still don't trust him, but you can start those running backs with confidence. Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton should have a big game as well. For the Raiders, you're still doing Devontae Adams. Doesn't look like Renfro's going to play this week, so you can do Matt Collins in his place. And I would not start Derek Carr. Denver's defense is legit. This may be the lowest scoring game of the week. And then that Sunday night, we have Patrick Mahomes visiting Brady, a rematch of the Super Bowl from a few years ago. For the Chiefs, you still have to start Mahomes. You can start Kelsey. That's about it. I don't see Juju or any of the receivers having a big game. For Tampa, Mike Evans will be back, so you can trust Brady in this game. You can trust Evans. Fournette may have a big game. And that's about it. I'm not sure if Godwin or Julio will be available for this week. And then on Monday night, we have the Rams at the 49ers. For the Rams, I'm not starting Stafford. Of course, you got to start Cooper Kupp. Still doing his thing from last season. Of course, you got to start Higbee. That's about it. Not trusting Allen Robinson. Actually had him on one of my teams this week. I dropped him. And for the 49ers, still starting Debo, Kittle. But that's about it. I will not start Jimmy G. He doesn't have any streaming potential for me this week. So that's my rundown for week 4. Let me know in the comments, how's your team do? Hopefully you did better than me. Send me your suggestions, like, comment, subscribe. And I'll be posting on my Instagram at GO Podcast. Start state questions for week 4. Get at me, let me know. I'll see you this weekend. Everybody good luck with your teams. Have a good one.